Hey guys, welcome to Reddit Brew. Today, I will be reading from the r/EntitledPeople subreddit, so let's jump into it. My mother decided my inheritance won't pay for my college after I told her she should get a VPN. My mother bought an Android TV box that can stream any new show or movie for free, which I told her was technically illegal, but her response was, "Streaming isn't illegal because we aren't downloading the content." And I just said, "Aight," and left it. Turns out, our internet service provider isn't too keen on this though, and throttles our whole network to unbearable speeds when the box is in use. However, the box will hog all the throttled bandwidth, so the movie will still stream, but every other device will be kicked off the network. When I told my mother about this, or asked them to just pause for a bit, so I am able to get any work done, her response is always, "I pay for the internet, and it seems to be working, so you can deal with not having internet while I'm watching TV." I have been dealing with this for 2 weeks now. I was disqualified from 2 job interview technical tests, had to plead to retake a midterm with my professor, and often get booted when I'm on a call with my girlfriend, whom is long distance, going to school, and we only get 2 or 3 hours to talk a day. When they left for a bit today, I did some troubleshooting, and found that a VPN fixes this problem. So when they came back, I told her that a VPN fixes the problem, and they should use one anyway, since their activities are illicit, and it also helps keep their information safe. Her response, unsurprisingly, was, "I bought the box to stop paying for subscriptions. I'm not going to pay for something when the TV works just fine. You can live without internet." I thought she would at least be reasonable, and I was going to offer to pay for half the yearly subscription to ExpressVPN, but instead, I was just shocked and left. Shortly after, she came to me and told me that I should just pay for the VPN because I'm the one who would be using it anyways. I told her that's not how it works. I wouldn't be using it, but I will split the cost with her. She didn't like that answer because she then started to go off saying, "You're 22 and you don't pay for anything. You should start at least paying for rent and to use our internet." Now, I know that statement doesn't sound too bad, Reddit, and I agree, taken out of context, it's probably fine, but here is some background for context. My parents told me that I can live rent-free until I graduate college, which led me to go to the local university to save money and not have to pay for room and board. My tuition, on the other hand, is just barely covered through a small sum of money my grandfather left me when he passed, but the account holder's name is my mother's, and if that doesn't cover my tuition, I would pay it myself out of pocket. My brother, on the other hand, moved out to go to college, and his financials are a different story. My mother fully pays for his tuition, room and board, and groceries, so he doesn't have to work while he goes to school. The tuition, room, and board are almost 3 times what my tuition alone costs, and yet she pays that without batting an eye. Anyways, to continue the story, my mother continued going off, telling me that starting now, I'll have to pay rent. It'll be $1,200 a month, and I have to pay for the VPN so I can access the internet. Also, I'll have to be paying for the internet since you're the only one that uses it anyways. And finished off her list of demands by stating, "Also, the trust won't be covering your tuition anymore, so you need to pay me back the $26,000 that it's paid so far." I was silent and just left. I broke down into tears when I got into my car and just started driving. I haven't talked to her since, and am just fuming that she would hold my inheritance ransom. I have 2 months until I graduate, and was planning to just yeet out of there the day I do. But every month, it's something else that's my fault, and I have to pay for. It started off with groceries, and I now buy over half the groceries and make dinner for me and my parents 4 days a week, because you should start making us dinner, since you should learn to cook. Then when I got my tax refund, she made me give her half of it, because I did your taxes, so I deserve your tax refund. refund, which I didn't ask her to do. I just came home from work one day and she had already filed them. Same with the stimulus checks during COVID. You shouldn't have gotten the stimulus check. It should be mine, since I'm your mother. After they didn't qualify because their income was too much. My father and I are going to see a show tonight. He sees the stark contrast in the way she treats me compared to my brother, and has even told me before that, I know she treats you differently than everyone else, and you just need to not cause a ruckus or stir up anything with your mother, and just leave as soon as you graduate. But he won't actually stand up to her or oppose her on anything, so whatever she says goes. Update 1. Thank you to everyone's suggestions and responses. My phone crashed with all of the notifications. Also, in response to checking my social security number and financials, I know they aren't draining my accounts for one reason or the next. She isn't in debt or whatnot. Her and my father have amassed a small fortune where money won't be an issue for the rest of their lives. Also, as for the trust, I am not allowed to touch it except for paying tuition, and only tuition, until I am 25, so I can't drain it and run. Also, I silently paid for a VPN and put it on the boxes last night. I haven't talked to or seen my mother since last night. I'm just going to keep my head down and try to survive another 2 months. I'm hoping that nothing will come of it until after graduation, in which I'll be long gone. I am deep into my senior final project in college and can't just uproot and leave because I won't have anywhere to set up my desktop to finish it. I could if school wasn't in person this semester, and I was planning to move out of state and live with my girlfriend this year, but the college pushed to in-person way earlier than anyone expected. Jeez. SMH. Great googly moogly, if you will. This mother is a royal bee with an itch, and my advice to OP would be that if your grandfather left a trust for you, specifically meant to be used for college tuition, then your mother cannot take it from you, and she cannot force you to pay it back. What she is asking of you is illegal, and if she presses the issue further or withholds it from you, I strongly recommend getting an estate attorney. If it is just an empty threat and the tuition continues to be paid for, then just keep your head down, bang out the last 2 months of college, then leave and go limited to no contact with both of them. Because mom is a narcissist that plays favorites and dad is an enabling spineless noodle. 2 people that don't deserve to be in your life on a regular basis, in my opinion. The Karen who wanted me to travel through time. Throwaway account to obscure details on where I work, as I work for an airport, security issues, etc. But this story was just too insane for me not to post. I work for an international airport. Won't say which one, but I will say a busy one, where I've heard it all. It's a high-stress environment for both staff and passengers, as you always get someone flying off the handle at one point, which can sometimes be for a reasonable and sympathetic reason too. Sometimes for very stupid reasons that are either entirely their fault or just silly altogether. This means handling Karens and entitled people in general is something I've become pretty good at. But this one request bemused me completely. It's the middle of the afternoon and we're experiencing a lull in activity before another big rush of flights. I am approached by a passenger and her silent husband who doesn't say a word in this entire exchange. Excuse me, I'm late. At first I think she's going into the line, but she's talking straight to me. I'm ready to see if I can bump her into the priority part of the security line, the usual standard treatment to passengers who are late. Sometimes things happen, traffic, a lost bag, lost in the airport, etc. I don't even get a word in before she sticks her finger up to stop me. You know the one where they whip the finger up to hush you and you instantly see red? Yeah, that one. I want to see if I can change the time. If you want to go on a later flight, I can, again, the finger of silence. I want to change the time so I can make it for this flight. This is already ranking amongst the most entitled individuals I've had the displeasure of talking to. But customer service face on, I got it out. I'm sorry, the best I can do is check for any delays to see if it gives you any extra time to get to the gate. But I can't change the flight time. You're an airport though. You can just change the time. The flights go at a certain time so they can get off the runway in a certain order. Any changes could mean delays. I'm not sure if that's even accurate, but a white lie to explain why I can't change her flight time seemed like a way to get her off my back. But then delay all the others then. Change the time. I don't have any power to control flight times, especially for single passengers. No. Don't delay mine. Just change the time and we can get on with our day. My mind went cross-eyed for a second. Delay first, then don't delay. I was trying to make sense of it all. I cannot change the flight time. I'm sorry. The finger. Again. You are not hearing me. Change the time. This time, she just spread her arms out patronizingly, as if I was struggling to put two and two together. I cannot change the time of any flights. If I could, I would, but I can't. No, just change the time. At this point, I've lost the plot completely. I simply just ask for her boarding card, hoping she wasn't late enough to catch her flight. She was, by 2 hours and 14 minutes. Forget the gate. The plane was halfway to its destination by now. I'm sorry, but you've missed your flight. I know that. That's what I'm trying to say. If you change the time, then we can get a new one for the same time, and we'll be on time. Once more, explaining this like I'm struggling to put the round block in the circle-shaped hole. I can't make a new flight happen. If you go to your airline desk, they can book you on a later flight either tonight or tomorrow, but I can't just the finger. This time with venom. All I want for you is to change the time. I don't see why you can't do this simple thing. It'll mean that other people who are late can get on brand new flights too. This should be a good thing for you. I saw the husband. He had distanced himself a few yards away, fiddling with the hand sanitizers as if trying to ignore what was going on. And it was at this point that it clicked in my head. You want me to change the time? Like, go back an hour? Finally, he gets it! She looked to the husband, who wasn't wanting any of this. Yes, change the time. It shouldn't be hard to do. To that one. She pointed at the destination on the boarding card I was still holding. I could physically feel my brain leave my body in a pink sludge. I had no response for an awkwardly long time. I can't do that. I can't change the time zones. Just turn the clocks back. It's that easy. Look. She then fiddled very awkwardly with her phone for a good half minute before showing me the time zone of a place she wasn't even going to. See? At this point, the husband makes the rescue, coming up to her and gesturing her to go. Again, without words. She called me fucking useless and stormed off, and I stood there as if I had just undergone an out-of-body experience. I was certain there was no language barrier because the passport was given to me with the boarding card in it, and we were from the same country. I wanted to say she was drunk, but she spoke very plainly and without slurring her words. Even right now, I can't believe it really happened. I've been working here for a decade at least, so this ranks amongst the weirdest I've encountered. A woman who wanted me to literally change time itself so she could make a flight she missed by 2 hours. Okay, this story is the one that deserves a great googly moogly. I've been slacking on the great googly mooglies lately, so there's 2 for ya. All I can say about this one is wow. Just wow. I would have trolled the absolute fudge out of this woman. Sure, ma'am, I can rebook your flight on the time-traveling Tardis. Let me just call up Doctor Who. But first, you have to do the time warp dance. It's just a jump to the left, then a step to the right, and hips. You get the idea. Nothing helps overcome internal rage caused by Karens like sarcasm and unbeknownst foolery. But anyways, that is all for me today. I hope you enjoyed these 2 entitled people stories. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I truly appreciate when you do, and I will see you in the next Reddit story. Bye!